Hey guys, Dark with Cyclone FPV. Getting ready to put some new videos back up online. We're going to start with the POB 135 frame. I'm going to build that right now for you guys and show you what motors are compatible with it. So without wasting any time, let's go ahead and do a picture-in-picture here. And let me see, here we go. All right, so I've got the parts laid out right here for you, and I'm going to go ahead and just start opening it up. This is a pretty cool frame. The idea is really neat. I made a frame like this a couple years ago, actually, and I guess at the time, people were kind of not understanding why we would offset the motors, or not offset, but yeah, tier the motors front and back. But I'm glad this guy, TCMM, did this as well. The frame's pretty good. The difference in the carbon fiber is super thick. I mean, they make a very strong frame. I'm very happy with the TCMM frame designs. The cutting is, you may want to smooth it out a little bit. Have some sandpaper or something just to kind of get around a little bit of the edges here that I would normally not let go. But in either case, we're going to go ahead and build this frame. It's been a very popular frame, but I had somebody ask a question today about what motors are going to fit. And I said, you know what, let's just go ahead and build the whole thing and get going. So I'm going to go ahead and open the standoffs first. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. All right, so we got our standoffs open. And let me see. I'll put this bag aside. I'll give you your Velcro zip tie, or your Velcro for your LiPo. Your landing pads right here. And I'm not sure I don't think I'm gonna fix these actually to the drone because I'm gonna break this one back down. Maybe I'll build this as a sample, I don't know, and put some motors on it and set it up for you guys as a kit. Okay, so let's put these in the bag. And you can find this on our website. Let me see if I can show you this. I think I have Betaflight open right now, but let me go ahead and open the internet, the browser real quick. If I can get my mouse to work, here we go. Let's open our browser and let's get over to Cyclone FPV. And then if you just type in POB, see my keyboard now, it's all the Bluetooth has quieted down for the day. POB 135 and hit enter. And then we can go right here, the TCM POB. So this is what we're looking for right here. This is the frame, and this is what we're going to be building, okay? So let's see, they give us our screws here, and then we have some flight controller, it looks like there's some stack standoffs that are also included. And so let's just knock it out real quick. And I'm going to look at the picture here to make sure I've got everything as it needs to be. Let's see. So this is going to be, I think these are going to be identical in this regard. So let me verify first. All right. So we're going to take our mounts. So this is going to be the front part of our quad right here. Sorry, let me get back to this real quick. All right. So we're going to take our parts. Here we go. This is going to be, as you can see, the piece with the hole here in the back, this is going to be the bottom. This is going to be the top right here. And it's going to fit someone like this when you stand it up. All right. And we'll use our standoffs for that. And these are going to be our camera mounts right here. And we're going to use our two black spacers for that. And then we're going to use our purple spacers to stand it off. So I guess all in all, it should be a pretty simple build. Let's see how I want to do this. I'm going to see if it may be best to just go ahead and put the standoff at the beginning. The screws here they look to be 6mm screws, which is going to give you about 3mm of height of threading in there. I'd probably go a little bit taller if you wanted to. I'd probably go with I'll use these screws to do the build, but just to give you a recommendation, if I was to build this for myself, I'm going to see what the length is. Some of these standoffs are threaded, they're limited, and so that would be, let me see. If this is not limited, then this might work, but it's, you kind of want the strength of this screw inside the standoff as well. All right, this is going to be limited, so we're going to have to take this down about 5mm. So that is a 14. So let's go with a, let's do a 10 and see how much we have left. So if we can fasten this down with a 10, I may put in a recommendation there that you upgrade to a 10mm in length, and it looks like we can. So going with a 10mm would be good. They don't send you that. They use a 6, so I'm going to use a 6 for now for the build. But always try to, if you can put more steel or metal inside these standoffs, the stronger they're going to be. But we'll use these for right now. Okay, so let's go ahead and put the 6. Let's put this standoff on real quick. And I'll put the rear standoff. I'm going to put all the purple ones on right now just to kind of hold it in place here. All right. Okay. All right, now, while that's happening, I do want to check something else out real quickly. Hopefully I have a piece here. Yeah, okay, so I usually will use something like this as my guide. So this is a 20 by 20 guide right here, and this board will fit, let's see, that is going to be a pretty easy 20 by 20, it looks like. Let me just verify. Yeah, that's going to be just fine for 20 by 20. That's my 20 by 20 template. So you are going to fit a 20 by 20 in here, and they, like I said, they do give you these flight controller standoffs, but again, they're only giving you one part of it. So I would probably use something a little different, like a solid screw all the way through, especially if you're going to put a cool stack on here. I don't like using these nylon ones as the base because when you wreck, it's going to shift. So I would recommend that you go the other route and put like a, oh, I don't know, let's say a 20 or 18 mil screw all the way through. You've got plenty of room, but then you've got the strength of a solid screw going through instead. So I would go that route. So needless to say, if you're going to buy this frame, which it is a good frame, it is a good selling frame, I would probably plan on increasing the hardware because something like this, they're giving you these M2 screws here, and I'm just going to put them on just to show you what I'm talking about. So they're giving you the M2 screws like this here, and then you use this nylon standoff. And I'm not a real fan of the nylon standoffs on the base, especially not where the ESC is. I prefer to, like I said, use a one solid screw all the way through, and then just use spacers in between to separate the boards. And I just pushed on something that one of the pieces that it shot that way, so I may be minus a piece here now that I'm doing this. But I think I see what it is. It just looks like it's another standoff, so I'll grab another one real quick. I hit it with my finger and it went flying, it looks like. Okay, so let's do this. And then let me grab another one here. There we go. Put the last one on. I mean, it is cool, I give it to you. And like I said, I mean, you can use these. But if ever you can use a straight through screw instead, it's always going to be a little bit better. Stronger, more reliable. All right, then they give you the nylon fasteners again. Oops, sorry, let me turn that off. I apologize. Sorry. Turn the ringer off there real quick. Okay, so nylon fasteners are okay, but when they go into a main component to hold the main component on top of a nylon standoff, I'm not really a fan of that either. I'm not even going to get these to fit on, so I'll just leave these off for now. Let me put those over here. So here's what we've got so far, right? So here's our layout right here. Now we've got to get ready to put the top piece on, and it's just basically going to fit like this. It's a very simple build. So what we're going to do is, I guess what I'll do first is I'll put one side on. I'm going to go ahead and fasten the spacers on real quick. So let me go ahead and put the bottom spacer on first. And I'm only going to do one side of it. So this is probably about a 5-minute build if you're not doing a video on it, or even less than that if you're not doing a video on it. But for me, I'm going to show you a couple different options, so it's going to take a little longer. All right, so there we go. Okay, so this will pop on here. Slide into this groove that is right there. Perfect, just like that. And they do fit well. TCMM's cuts are very accurate. I mean, the way they cut this one is there's no wiggle room here at all. All right, so once we've got that on, you know this is going to go. This has to actually go, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm going to check here real quick, this is going to overlap, right? So to get this on, I guess maybe we can put the bottom piece on first, or I mean the top piece on first. See if we can get it to fit this way easier. So let's just put one on. I'm only going to put one screw on for now because I want to see if this is going to be the better way to do it. So this should fit on here, right? So snap it to the side here. And at the same time, it needs to go into the top plate. So you got to fit them together and then kind of just, it's going to be a tight fit. So let me make sure I get this on perfect here. There we go. It's going to snap. Every time you put it in the right spot here, it should snap for you without any issues. And now getting this piece on is a little bit trickier. So let me see if there's a better way to do it. If I put this side piece on first, on the bottom, yeah, that's not going to go either. Let me see how I can best do this. It may be to put the top piece on last, but I'm going to press this down pretty good, and it should, there it goes, it should pop on. Okay, so insert the top slot first, and then just really kind of push it in there. It's a real tight fit that they've given you. Okay, so again, to do this side, you put the top piece on just like that, slide it into the top slot, and then line it up on the side here with the tab on the base, and it should, there it goes, and it pops right in. It's really cool, actually. So I think I'm going to keep this frame and build something out of it. This will be really neat. And it, like I said, it does a 20 by 20 stack, and it's got plenty of room inside. So let me just close this up and at least fasten both sides of these plates. All right. Okay, then I'll put the top plate, the last screws on the top plate on. And that pretty much does it. They do give you the LiPo strap if you want to use theirs. I'm not a fan of this one, but if you want to use it, that's fine. And then they do give you, I'll go ahead and open this one. They do give you your LiPo base. Again, I don't use these. I'm not a fan of these really, but I can at least. Normally, I would assume it goes here is what they want you to do to hold it in place, but I don't like that approach. I'd rather be able to cut this and fit it right here, but they've really limited how you can do that. So you've got the base screw here, so you've got to kind of fit this. But what I would recommend is, if you don't want to use the bottom plate, then I would go ahead and just cut this, trim it up a little bit, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about here. So let me just put this back on the sticker. Now, if you don't want to do that, what you're going to do is you're going to stick this piece like this here. I'll stick this one and then I'll get another silicone piece to show you how I would do it. So this one here, and then you're going to put, as your landing pads, you put these on the bottom underneath, right? Just like that. And I guess they consider that a LiPo protector. I'm not really a big fan of that. But if you want to use that, then you will feed this through. And I guess we can feed it either way. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. But I'm gonna take that one off. I'm gonna use a regular LiPo strap for these. So let me get a smaller. I don't know if I have a smaller Cyclone strap, but I'm just gonna use this one here. So I'm going to come up like this. Actually, hopefully this is thin enough to make it through. It is. All right. So I'm gonna feed that through. Now we have shorter straps if needed, or you can, like I said, you can use what they've given you, but I don't really like all the extra hardware that's needed for it. I just put pieces on the bottom of my batteries that protect them. I just got to get this to fit through, so hold on one second. Guess knowing this, next time I may put the strap through first, because getting my fat fingers through this thing is seeming impossible, but I'm determined to get this. There we go. Now we'll just feed it through. Okay, so this is obviously a longer strap, but what I would have done here is I would take a silicone pad. Let me grab one. Like these. And again, these are just different things. I mean, you don't have to do it this way. This is just, if I'm doing mine, this is most likely how I would end up doing mine. And I'm going to divide the piece, and I'm going to go, let's say, I'm going to go one in the center here, and I'll measure that out to be, oh, let's see. To avoid the screws, I'll measure it out to be, probably about 15 mil. So I'm going to go to my 15 mil mark right here. It's going to be about half, exactly half of this pad. So I'm going to try to half this up, eyeball it at least. Now I'll put it usually on a cutter, like one of those sheet cutters that you use in schools when they need to cut different pieces out of one piece of paper. Those are machines you go down like that. But in any case, so then I'll place this in right here, right? And I know that the pad is taller than the screws, so we're good to, at least once this pad's in place, to clear the screws so the battery would sit against the pad. So let's go ahead and place that in. I'll cut a little bit more off of that right there. There we go. All right, there's the first one. And then unless there's something specific up here, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing up here to the front, so that when my battery does lay on here, depending on the length of the battery, the size of the battery, I've got the full pad here, and as you can see, the screw sits underneath it, so when the battery sits on here, it's going to sit perfect against the two pads. And then I can at least put my LiPo in like this and fasten it around depending on how long your piece is. Okay, now the other option would be then to use a piece like this. The problem is it's offset kind of weird, right? Because the battery's here, but to use this, you'd have to be kind of offset to here. I don't like that. I'd rather try to keep it within this frame as much as possible. Even though they've put the battery strap back here, I can still at least center it and then tighten it down pretty good. So I would go this route. And let me go ahead and just close that up real quick. All right, and so that pretty much does it for the frame. So now to look at what motor fits, let me clean this up real quick. And all these pieces, guys, the extra screws, the recommendation for a longer screw, or even the silicone pad, you can find those all on our website, okay? Should have no problem with that at all. So let me grab some motors here real quick. I'm just gonna grab some used ones that I've had. And I'm gonna grab me a set of, let's see, I just had, there we go. So I'm gonna grab 14, I believe this is gonna be a 1408. The HGLRC 1408. So the bolt pattern here we're gonna check. And the 1408 M2 uses M2 screws. And so in this case, 1408 is gonna be an excellent fit for this. So you would use like an M2, let's say I'm gonna grab a 6mm right here, which will give me, it might be a little too long. I may have to go with a spacer underneath that, but let me just check. I want to make sure I'm not, no, it's actually a good length. So the 1408 series will fit, it's a 12 by 12 bolt pattern here, so let me just show you what we've got and line that up for you. And I'm going to turn it the proper way so it looks normal here. All right. Now, if you want to run this, you can also run, and I'll show you how it looks here. Let me just mount all four of these and I'll give you an idea of what I'm talking about. If you wanted to run the motor upside down and have a push effect, you easily could do that too. So let me show you what that looks like. That's normally how I will do a frame like this, but let me just kind of, or I'd push down the bottom and do on the top, and this way you avoid all your dirty air there. But let me just show you the options here, okay? Now it is a tight fit. These holes that they've drilled for these motors are right to the edge. So don't tighten down the screws until you're done completely getting all the 4 screws in. They are literally right to the edge here. So just be cautious about that and make sure that you don't start tightening down too early, because you've got to get the motor to kind of budge a little bit. So I'm just going to give you both options here for the rear motors. All right, let me do that real quick. And considering that you're pushing away anyway, if this drone is flying this way, I'd almost go with this route. I do like this better, but it depends on, again, on the size prop you're going to be flying. You can get more clearance this way, but as a matter of fact, I'll probably build this with an inverted motor. In fact, I'm just going to flip this around now, might as well. And then we can see what the best option is. Again, that's a 6mm screw, so M2 6mm. Now those don't come with the frame. You'll have to have those with your motors. And 6mm does seem to be pretty sufficient. It's not too long, and it's not hitting the it's not hitting any of the coils here, so we should be all right. Let me go ahead and just put these on. That's going to look pretty neat, actually. All right, now it's going to tip backwards because I have no weight in the front. Let me go ahead and put these up here. Sorry, my hands are a little shaky. I just took my coffee and my medicine, so I think I could run a few miles right now without even thinking twice about it. So I've got the jitters with all the coffee pumping in me, but it'll wear off eventually. Let me see, I think the screw that I pulled was measured wrong, so let me just grab a couple others here. That should be all right. And I have some props laying around here real quick, so give you a whole idea of what this looks like here in just a second. Just got to sort out some of these 6mm screws got mixed in here. You can tell because they're not colored orange or gold color, so they're not 6mm, but they made it in the pile, which means I must have dropped them in there by accident. All right, so that should offset the weight from tipping over now. So there we go, and then we'll put one more right here. That's an 8mm. That should be the last one. Excellent. Okay, so there you have it right there, right? And then if you want to see what this would look like, let me show you. I have some racecraft sitting right here. I'll just put those on for now. I'm not going to put the prop fasteners on. Actually, this would go like this. This would go, I might have to actually, or else these are going to fall right off. So hold on, let me do something very quick and easy here. I didn't want to have to find the blue ones, but I think they're leaving me no choice on this. Yeah, I think I've got enough purple that'll fit. Let me see if the purple will go on just for now at least. Came off of the 1408 as well. And I'm just going to put these on temporarily to hold the prop in place, so when I put it on upside down, it doesn't fall off. Normally you'd have a blue fastener, but I've put everything away for right now, so these are the quickest things to grab. I'm going to turn it over. Now on these, you invert your prop, okay? So you would turn your prop upside down basically, because you still want it pushing at the same power. So this is actually going to go over here. But make sure you would, now this is if you want to invert the motor. So if you invert the motor, which I would recommend here, I do like the way it works. I do like the Okay, now let me clean up my mess here so we can focus on the drone itself and the frame. Let's get all these screws out of here for the time being. Just put them here. Okay, put our tools away, and we can see the end result. Now these are the pads they gave us. Let me see if I can get another cleaning pad real quick. All right, sorry guys, I just like it to be somewhat clean. Okay, so using what we pulled here, I'm gonna try to get this to kind of sit a little bit. If you wanted to use like those foam landing pads, I guess while you were just sitting the drone, I'm not really sure how I would put these on because it wouldn't stay even. But in either case, here's what we got. So we've got the props inverted, and what's cool about this, like I said, is they're both going to be pushing away. Now, ideally, what I would like to see is, I would love to see both props inverted, right? But the way this sits, we're not going to be able to do that. But if we had the entire frame on the top with this just on the bottom, which might be neat, I may just cut something like that just to show, then we could do that. But in either case, so we're going to be pushing away here, and we're going to be pushing away here. And so the dirty air here is just going to be going out this way. We should be pretty good. We should see pretty smooth flight out of this. So this is one way to do it, and this is probably the most likely the way I would do it. And this is how I will build this. So I am going to go ahead and build this out now and put a stack in here, and I'll show you that as a video part 2. I wasn't planning on that until I just put this together and saw how cool it was. So inside though, for camera wise, it looks like we have about 19 mil on the inside, which is standard. So that should be good. And you've got plenty of room here. You've got room for a camera. So if I was to take, like, let's say a Hawkeye or a Firefly or what have you, similar style, we've got room here to fit this stand, and we could have our, I mean, we could trim it down. We've definitely got room to fit this stand right here. All right, and so we could be flying, sorry, I didn't mean to go off camera, but you could fit this if you mounted it right like that. Now I'm out of double-sided tape. My wife used the last of it yesterday, so I don't have any to show you this, but that's how I would do that if I wanted to. And so that's neat. So there you go, guys. Let me show you this now on full camera here. So here you go. This is what it looks like. Okay, so that is with the 1408, and you could do 1407, 1408, same bolt patterns. If you want to do it this way, you could also just flip the motors over and have them normal like that. If you have any questions about that, this is the POB 135. That is on our website, like I was showing you right here. And then there is also a POB 150. So let me type that up there and see if I can get that to come up. POB 150. Is that right? Yeah, there we go. And so it's the same frame, just a little bit bigger. Or I guess no, they didn't invert it. Sorry, the 135. It's the same style, I guess, but it is a unibody frame. My bad. But the 135 is split like this. So this is the one that we're going to go with to do our next build, and then you have the POB 150, which is going to be the unibody style, but everything's down below. All right, if you have any questions, guys, as always, please visit our website, use our contact page on there, and then please follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you have any other questions, you want to see another frame build, please let me know. I'm getting ready to put a bunch of videos on frame building and some component mixtures together to see what the best build would be. So hit me up on that. If not, God bless, be safe, spend time with your family, guys. You don't know how much time you have left, so make the most of it, please. Safe flying in the skies. See you later. Peace.